Hey guys, it's Wednesday. I wanted to check in and see how we're doing with the identity statements. Have you been able to identify some values around two or three of your roles, including or in addition to your eater identity? Um, and those values, they're they're not the things that you're necessarily good at or that you even are doing consistently, but what are the things that you identify with as an eater? So, whether that's eating nourishing foods, or whether it's eating only when I'm physically hungry, or you know those kinds of things. I value eating a variety of foods, or I value eating 80% minimally processed whole foods and 20% less nutritious foods. Those, I value eating home cooked meals 90% of the time. Whatever it is for you, that's going to be kind of personal. And then to create that identity statement around those values. So I'm hoping that the exercise is making some sense as to kind of what we're looking for. So just to reinforce the concept, and that is that the identity that we hold for ourselves is going to be rooted in the values that we embrace related to that role. And that identity generally governs our behavior. We don't generally behave in a way that is counter to our values or that is inconsistent with the identity that we have assumed for ourselves, whatever that is. And so the goal here is to create an identity that is consistent with our values, that we can rely on or default to in order to govern our behavior. So even if it's something that we aspire to be, maybe you're going to write an identity statement that is something that you aspire to be. And then you're going to write that down and you're going to put it where you'll see it frequently. And you're going to repeat it to yourself. I am a blank who values blah, blah, blah. And then, so we just begin that process of identifying and internalizing that identity. And the more we do that, the more we should see that influencing our behavior. If we are not able to articulate the values that we have and the identity that espouses those values, then we don't really have that compass, right? So if I can't say that I am, I'm a homemaker who's organized and productive, then chances are I'm not going to be very organized and productive in my homemaking, for example. We're just kind of, we're more on, we're more reactionary than actionary. I don't even know if that's a word. But so that we want to have a firm grip on who we are so that our behavior will be consistent with who we are. And that kind of puts us in the driver's seat of our behavior, because we are going to behave in a way that is consistent with our identity, which is consistent with our values, or which is centered around our values. So I'm not sure if I'm explaining this very well. If I'm not, let me know. Hopefully it makes sense. But anyway, and maybe I've said it in a different way that clarifies kind of what I was talking about on Monday, that might give you a little bit more information and clarity to help you write those identity statements. So again, I would love for you to share those with me. What you come up with on those. And if you have any questions about them, please let me know. And I just think it's a really cool exercise to kind of set a foundation for that compass that will help us guide our choices that we make in the various roles, including and in particular for this context as an eater. So anyway, get those put together the best you can and shoot them over to me. I would love to see them.